accidentally typed Smilebro with a Z. I kind of liked it.
All right.
What's up, everyone? I'm Smilebro,
Conundrum here.
and this is the SnoPlay podcast.
Yeah, back at it again, and we've got a show this week.
Yeah, we have a show on Thursday. It's Conundrum, Luster, and Neon Reject performing at the RÖK in St. Paul.
DJ showcase. We're going to be bringing out the decks and throwing down, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to be recording our sets. So if you want to be a part of a moment in time of all our projects,
Yeah.
come out and see what the madness is all about. I think it's 8 to 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be a reckless time to propose an idea like this, but I was thinking we should try and do boiler room style there.
Sure.
I don't know if we may have, but...
Yeah. I don't know how honest we want to be, but I don't know if we got like boiler room amount of people coming.
Well, that has been kind of one of the concerns, you know. We want to get a good recording of our set, so when we're promoting something like this, we've got some energy to go off of.
And just to show our progress and like see how we evolve and stuff.
It's been a long time since we've gotten a good show recording, so we're stoked about it. But yeah, Luster's going to be opening it up right at like 8 o'clock. Doors are a little before that. I'm going to be playing after Luster, and then Neon Reject's going to be closing it down.
Yeah.
So check out the whole thing. I think we'll probably do hour-long sets, or like just about an hour. So our estimated wrap is about 11. Yeah, 8 to 11. Doors open at like 6, though, so come by and have a drink with us beforehand.
Sure.
Check it out.
All right, let's move on.
Cool.
So we're as you can tell, I don't know if we look different, but it's been a while since the last podcast that was posted.
Yeah.
We've recorded 20 episodes that are like from 1 hour to 3 hour long, and they're great. Honestly, there's some good nugs in there. You know, some could be improved. Right. Some could be improved for sure. But we ran into hard file management woes, and
it's, you know, they were recorded on like 4 different cameras, and sometimes a switcher, and sometimes just the audio, and like all over the place. So we struggled with getting it polished and put out.
Yeah.
And that is our bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You probably are like, I feel like I'm not missing out on anything, but we're
here to tell you you're missing out.
Yeah, and they're
and
valuable.
It's our fault.
Yeah. And you might see them eventually. Like, we're planning on having like kind of from the vault episodes once we get our crap together.
I think that'd be cool. I mean, you know, to speak to some of what the episodes are, we interviewed each of the SnoPlay artists and some random collaborators and like all kinds of people. That was, you know, had some good chats. And we talked a lot about the process and all that we've been going through. You know, it's been filled with its ups and downs, and those are just getting going.
There was like 10 episodes in the beginning when we were trying to figure out SnoPlay V1.
Mm-hmm.
And we just did SnoPlay V2, which went like better than the first one.
A whole year later, basically.
Yeah. So originally, SnoPlay V1 was trying to pitch to ski resorts around the country, really, was our original ambition. We made a spreadsheet of all the places we could go for like 1,000 miles in any direction and reached out to them and tried to make it happen. But a lot of them like really didn't understand what we were talking about. And, you know, maybe for the best, it didn't work out initially.
Yeah. We were hoping to like just get Airbnb costs covered or something. And
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can reignite that someday.
All that being said, we did have V1 at the What's Up Lounge, and then we had
magical. We probably talked about that, but that was a magical show.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And then V2 we just had at the RÖK, and everyone just went another level on their performance stuff and challenged themselves, and like, so I feel no remorse for the idea not living up to its original potential yet. Yeah. Because eventually every year we're going to chip at this goal because we're really excited about it.
I want to give another shout out there, like to one of our just smashing sets of the evening was Luster with his, like he'd remixed the way he was performing, and he had a bunch of new stuff written for it, and he just performed this like super dynamic live set. It was really
it was gorgeous. It was it was a Thursday night, so a lot of people were like tired by before I came on, so it was he might not have got the love that we wanted him to get on people bouncing around and stuff, but we're so thankful for everyone that did show up. And
also shout out to Luke, who joined us for his first SnoPlay show.
Yeah,
that was really cool too.
He crushed as
well.
He
also had a killer
I
feel
like everybody like
set.
had a pretty sick set.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but those two I think had the ones that we would like put on the internet,
for sure.
I think the rest of us kind of hit some bumps at certain times.
Yeah, I mean, and RÖK has been super cool to work with. It's a cute little venue. I don't know, I could say some nice things about it. Nice folks.
Yeah, the
over
people
there.
The owner is fantastic, and everybody who works there, nothing but good vibes.
And they've been super great to work with, stoked when we pull up and try
They're open
stuff.
to us, our weird stuff. Like when we showed up this last time, we showed up with a mannequin that was dressed exactly like I was, and we brought like a light wall and like so many lights, and yeah, it was a Thursday, so they were like genuinely like,
okay,
what is happening?
Super cool about it. That was great.
There was one
shout
note
out to the RÖK fellas.
Yeah, shout out. There was one note about our show that was kind of funny that I'd like to bring up, is that it felt like if there was an open mic for a stadium show.
That's magical.
Because we were like practicing like grand lighting and like these very dynamic and like like a lot of technology involved in a lot of our sets and stuff.
A little like scrappy, but still kind of at an epic level.
It's like on its way, but it's like if there was an open mic for that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I thought that was like a great note on what that experience was like.
Well, and it's awesome trying to, figure out how to the load in, load out quick on a gig like that, where you're trying to add all those elements. Because, I mean, drummers know the digs. It's tough to load in, load out your kit quick. But when you're adding lighting and visuals and stuff, like, just gets wild.
Another shout out to Zach for doing sound while also performing, and to you for doing lights, and Triple Falls for letting us borrow some gear for the show. Definitely would not have been as cool without the gear, as well as the great people from the TF crew.
That was really the vision behind some of the SnoPlay tour thing too, though, is it's like, how can we really activate the skills that we've got, the folks that are motivated, but like not, it's tough to do it all on your own. So as a crew, we can put together some crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's like the best practice that we could like hope for at the level that we're at. And to have that many people excited about the same idea. It also feel like family. Like it never feels like egos are really bumping into each other very much, or like there's not many scuffles in the crew. So that's just everyone excited about the same thing is like so cool to experience and like have around.
It's been awesome. I mean, to go round 2 after basically a whole year, and to see the evolution, to see everyone still motivated, trying to make it work. So we're keeping on it.
Yeah.
Let's move on from that. Are we looking to any 2024 stuff? I feel like, I guess that was at the end of, that was 2024 show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to keep trying to book some stuff. So we're going to start doing a little traveling around, maybe if you want us to come visit you over in Duluth-ish area or Eau Claire or something like that, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. I've had a whole journey with like performing live. Like Smilebro goes from backing track songs. I probably talk about this way too much on various podcasts, but going from backing track songs to me and a guitar to like I had me and Luke and a piano, and then even the backing track songs, some of them are like so experimental electronic, and some of them are very pop. So
yeah,
it's a whole journey trying to figure that out. So
really dynamic. Well, and it's been cool to see how you evolve with that, from the produced stuff to the acoustic. I think it's nice to have those dynamics in a show, because especially for live, like it you know, you already have a mostly captive audience. You just have to stop them from leaving.
Sure.
And it's better to give them some nice dynamics than to just ear beat them all the time with whatever.
One thing that I didn't ever put as much, maybe, how do I say that? The one thing that I didn't admire that I do now about other artists is the ability to tell a story throughout a set by how you place the songs throughout the set.
Yeah.
Because you don't think about it when you're like at a show, at least I didn't, but planning it, like the arc of the energies, and like this part is like where I might cry. This part is where I'm jumping for like 10 minutes. And like, I don't think I necessarily crushed that like the story of my set, but I think I gave it a good shot at what I thought could work. And I learned from it for future sets. Because I started with 10, 15 minutes of like my highest energy songs trying to just kick the roof off.
Yeah.
And I think I should have built a little more to that, like maybe like splash with the first one with a little energy, and then like kind of build up, get everybody excited, and then have them jumping with me.
Yeah.
And then go into the acoustic and build
Kind of
back
depends
up.
on where you were left off too, possibly. Like I wonder if you went after someone like Luster, whether you could kick the door out.
And the location and the day, like
Yeah,
a Thursday. So that's part of it too. It's like curating the day, the time, the set place, and like what your music
you had
is.
some advantages with this last show being that it was like a third the length of your first show or something.
Yeah.
But or half or something. But yeah. That's interesting. You know, one of the things that taught me a lot as a DJ was curating that was ecstatic dance, because they have these like dynamics built into the format of ecstatic dance that go from this like just get up and move phase to this like, all right, we're building phase, and then energetic, and then kind of like a release, and then like a really the build, the climax, the like epic celebration, whatever, and then kind of the walk back towards where you're leaving people off.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you can obviously change it up, but that sort of structure is like a pretty good starting place.
We were talking about prepping for sets on Thursday, and a cool note that we landed on was that we like to be pretty open format DJs,
Yeah.
but it would be cool to mix in some scripted stuff. So having like 3 parts in the set that you know will be impactful and cool, like transitions and like songs together.
Yeah.
So there's like moments that are memorable, and then having a good starting place and a good ending place, and then the rest be open format.
Yeah.
So it's like balance of both of those worlds.
I think that really solves a bunch of the problems that I face as a DJ, because sometimes it just lacks the like something to connect it all. It's like, why is all this happening, you know? And I think that intro outro element is really big to bookend it, you know. How are you introducing people to your stuff? How are you like sending them off? And then those other moments, like, you know, it's fun to I as a club DJ am often just for 4 hours like not knowing what the next song is. But if you've got like a 4-song transition kind of laid out that you're excited about, sounds good, has a bunch of your cool vibes, like that's a really great way to still be open format, or to still, you know, have dynamics in your set, but to then be able to show up and just crush a couple.
Yeah. We just got done in the other room. I was showing Willis some of the songs I've been working on that are unreleased, and kind of new ideas for this upcoming EP I have for Neon Reject. And man, stacking your own songs against your favorite songs from other artists is like, it's encouraging, but it can also be like super crushing.
Yeah.
And you had the note of like that I'm taking the inspiration from these artists, but I'm not like playing in their lane.
Yeah.
So that's also been like a little bit of a frustrating thing that I mean, I hope will pay off eventually. That's kind of the goal, that if I stay weird long enough, and then I just kind of scoot into like normal every once in a while, that like when I do that once, it'll work, and I'll be able to pull people into the weird stuff I really like.
Well, it's like as a producer, you can get inspired by a tune, and then you can like drop that tune into Ableton, and you can place your kicks where they place theirs, and you can try and like mimic it. And if you're good at production, you can do a great job of not, I mean, you could copy it literally, but you could also just like make a version of your song that's like within that style.
Did I tell
But
you
that's
that?
not how you do it. You kind of like,
Did I tell you that "Free Your Mind" was me trying to make "Rumble" by Skrillex?
I don't know, maybe, but
Yeah, but that's what it
yeah,
was.
wow,
So
that's interesting.
that was like a direct inspiration from that thing.
It's cool to start with those places because, like, especially if you follow the inspiration and you're not like trying to make an exact copy.
Yeah,
It's really,
I don't think they sound similar. Like,
yeah,
you know, to my, I don't know if this is self-deprecating, but the Rumble song's definitely better still. But I really like the song that I made also. I think it's
yeah,
crazy and it's fun and it's cool. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I've been really excited to see a bunch of the Neon Reject stuff played into a room again because, like, I remember one of your last DJ sets where you were playing one of the DJ showcases. I was really impressed by how some of that stuff landed in the room, especially when you're comparing it to a bunch of DJs who are, in some cases, doing like kind of a freestyle thing, but in other cases, were just chopping like four songs at once, and
Yeah.
it was well coordinated, but still it was like very intense. And the dynamics of your set provided a nice alternative to that and like fun energy.
Yeah, people have been more well receptive to Neon Reject performances than I would have maybe thought
Hmm.
going into it because I've always thought it's like a little too abstract and weird for people. But I think I'm accidentally like sometimes a palate cleanser
Yeah,
in the midst of like nights that have genres and stuff.
yeah.
Just because these are like smaller shows and I'll still play some of the music that everyone else is playing and not like everybody on the lineup is playing all the same music, but
It's cool. Like imagine a festival that's designed around this sort of like aggressive bass music, and you are there, and like you're still doing some version of that. And the aggressive bass music was massive simplification of the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing. But like you might be a palate cleanser even on like a much larger scale, and it might be because like you're inspired by the same thing, but your approach is totally different, and that is cool. And then you like eventually you just have people that are copying you and enough of like
Sure.
you know.
Yeah. I think when we were talking about a little while ago about Sunday Fun Day, my first
Oh
ever
yeah.
yeah, my first ever DJ gig was you hired me for to do
2018 probably.
yeah, around there. Um to do or whatever the Sunday Fun Day wasn't Open Decks, but it was Sunday
It was
Fun
a
Day
little
and
DJ showcase.
yeah. And I just played mostly like pop remixes and like future bass stuff
Yeah.
and like how far we've come from there. Like I was barely producing any music and like barely any music that I would even want to play out.
I remember I still come across the demo like pack you sent me back in those days because like I had just dropped them into my Serato to listen to them. So they still sometimes like come across my
You played one of them at Red Rocks like in the club one night, like
really.
in front of a bunch of people. Like it
Yeah.
was that one where the first day we met, I told you that I had made a hip hop beat, but I low passed it and then added a redux onto it.
Hmm.
And I don't know why, but I specifically remember your face being like, "What?" Like, because like me saying that like sentence made you like, "Oh, he actually like has used Ableton more than like a week or something."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like sent it to you, and then you played it out at Red Rocks one night when we were DJing, and you're like, "See, it works."
Mhm.
And you were like, "It's like I don't know, it was cool that like you
Nice.
believed in it more than I did at that time."
I remember, and I still probably could find a couple of the ones that I thought had like a spark. But yeah, like you'd be embarrassed if we played them all.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's weird though, like when you play back those old like cute ideas,
Yeah.
you hit on some like cooler stuff than you could like try to make.
I feel that way about some of my early SoundCloud releases. I'm like, honestly, like I wish I was putting out stuff this cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but at the time you're just like, God, I can't.
I know this is my like third beat I made.
Yeah.
That I felt that I got close to.
Yeah, man, it's so easy to get frustrated. We were also saying a little bit ago about how for the last 4 years, 5 years, we've been having conversations like this, whether it's recorded or not.
Yeah.
And how those early conversations were this, but so not cohesive and so aimless and just like, how do we get, how do we, and I would just be like, I'm gonna headline Lollapalooza, and then you'd be like, you haven't played this show yet, and then, and we still have that same energy. We just have more words to like put in between them or something.
Yeah, well, and I think we're making progress towards the opening Lollapalooza at least.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think we have to have that aspiration and that like blind confidence that we're almost there to like get closer, even though it might not be like next door.
You have to have patience in the like meta. You have to be willing for this to take like 10 years, but in the micro it helps to have a little bit of like, let's make it happen sooner.
Yeah. Like I've probably said this on past episodes, but since this is like, the next one
new
that's coming
drop,
out,
go for it.
I just realized that it's been 6 years since I started taking music seriously.
Yeah.
And in the first couple of years, like the first year or two, I was just like Googling problem solving in Ableton, just trying to like move around.
Yeah.
But by like year 3, I was like, I could go bonkers next year. And like every year after that, I was like, it didn't happen last year, but next year it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And then like I feel like every year I lost a little bit of that, where I was like, now I'm at the point where I'm like, if it's next year, if it's the year after, whatever. Like I'm having fun, like doing cool stuff with my friends, and I'm making things that I feel like are actually closer to the ideas that I have in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm less worried about like something blowing up soon.
Yeah.
So it's like really cool to look at 6 years and be like, wow, I actually like had the perseverance to commit to that. But it's also like at the same time, it's like I barely have 2 songs with over 1,000 plays in 6 years.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of energies to like
it's tough,
reflect on there.
The worst thing you can do is quit, because you'll just get worse faster. But if you keep going, you got a shot at it, I guess. I mean, and we've talked too about how you don't really want it fast either. Like that's not really a good way to get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to keep at it, and it's tough to know where the next thing comes from, where the next opportunity is, but you got to keep turning over rocks.
This is a little derailed.
Oh, I did have something that I was going to say on that line though, too, which is like each year your music has gotten like 3 times as good too. So each year you're like, I'm ready for it. But then like it gets 3 times as good and you're like, I'm ready, so it's like, were you ready for it before? Or was that like a little more optimistic?
No, I think but if I was like, I'm not ready for it, but in 2 years or if the first year I was like, I'm not ready for it, but in 5 years I'll be ready for it, I probably would have stopped. Like, it's hard to like keep something going when you're not excited for tomorrow.
No, that's super true. You gotta have some drive for it. Keep it alive in you.
Yeah, my this is a little bit of a derailment, but I started therapy again because every year around February, March is like a rough time for me because of like seasonal struggles. But my therapist said this thing of like, you're not reaching for what the version of the life that you want. You're being pulled by it towards it. And I saw Skrillex when he won the Grammy this year. He said that success is attracted, not caught. And I thought that was really cool. He was like, if you just follow the passion inside of you and know what you like, and I'm paraphrasing, but just like, if you just commit to doing the thing that is like in your soul, and like do it long enough and keep going after it, you'll attract success. You shouldn't, like, don't worry about it. I feel like I just stumbled through saying all that, but it meant a lot to me when I heard it, and from my therapist Dan Skrillex.
Well, it's less, it makes me think of like a person, you know, going about their day confident, but like, you know, head down, just doing the work, versus like someone like sort of flailing about trying to catch like a pretty butterfly.
But I think there's something beautiful. I don't know if I love that analogy, because like trying to catch a butterfly and not necessarily kill it, because that would be kind of sad. But I like that.
No, I wasn't gonna kill it, but you know, that's the quick version of like, I just want to get there quick.
Yeah. I think I think of it is that when I have days where I'm like, oh, I should be like posting like 20 times on TikTok today and make a song that's like more pop than this weird thing that I just threw together, and then I'm like, now I'm stressed out thinking that I'm not capable of making songs, and I'm not excited to post on social media. So this isn't what I want at all. Yeah. I should really just make the song that I'm excited to listen to, try to make a video that I'm excited to make, and exercise my creative muscles in that video, and then just put it out, and then do that more often than like worry about.
Do you think of it all about creating for like what you would want to see?
More and more. I have. A lot of what I've done in the last few years, and specifically with these 7 albums and this short film with the EP for Neon Reject, it's a lot of practice, where I'm just really trying. I've been doing this thing for so long where I purposely make things a little weirder than pop, so that they don't work, but that I get good practice doing a further version of like what could be acceptable or like really work. So that eventually, by like the 7th album, I'll know how to do the furthest reach of like the weird thing that I want to do, and know how to like hone it into the normal version that's accessible. But every month it gets harder in my brain. I'm like, okay, I just want that now, you know? Like I just want to do that now.
Well, it's tough to invest so much in something without seeing the kind of reward that you're hoping for, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and today I was kind of asking you something like how do we actually make progress?
Yeah.
What are we trying to do here? And that we kind of landed on this almost as being like, well, let's just put out a podcast episode. Let's just promote the show that we've got coming up in 5 days.
Yeah.
And so sometimes focusing on a little bit more of like what you can do today.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with like, dude, the Freudian slip thing was hilarious. Dude, I thought of that at 4 other times and laughed. So, no disrespect to RÖK, it was probably our fault, but they put on their website, No Plays Presents. And I told you that, and then you were like, "Oh, it's a Freudian slip. Do you know what that is?" And it's like when you accidentally say the thing that's more true than what you were actually trying to say.
Yeah.
Because the group of us don't have very many plays.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. I was like, not exactly what we were trying to communicate with that title of our production company.
I kind of like it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I enjoyed it. Yeah. What else? Okay. Oh, one of the other things kind of relating to this upcoming set, but also just, you know, trying to find some direction is like, I've been trying to figure out what to do with my musical projects, because I'm all over the place. I'm more like a club DJ than anything at this point, but I've dabbled in like lo-fi coffee shop sets and all the way to, you know, more darker bass stuff so that I can roll with the bass heads. And, you know, we're kind of zooming in on this idea of like an AM PM vibe for me, which is kind of re-inspiring, like how I could create stuff, whether it's a live stream or whether it's like a DJ set format. You know, I kind of have this daytime energy that's like patio or rooftop or coffee shop, a little bit more in the like lo-fi, probably to dance, but you know, it's going to be chill. It's going to be kind of like loungy more than like aggressive. And then I still like, you know, some club bangers and throwing down. So we need a little PM energy too.
Yeah, a while ago, me and Willis had a conversation where we sat down and just kind of evaluated his brand and if it needed to be split into different directions, and still some thoughts on like the visual side of it and how that could go. And
because I just show up and I'm on a bill, but I'm producing visuals, and that's confusing for people. I've had people who like come up to me and they're like, "When's your set?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not playing tonight." Sorry, that was confusing. Like, I don't know if you know, those are people who are probably my DJ fans that now just don't go to any.
They probably won't come next time.
So I do need to clarify the way that I'm doing those things, because I was kind of like, oh, my DJ and my lighting, that's super well integrated, but this is sort of like opposite sides of the thing. Maybe if I'm as a DJ like doing my own lighting, but that's not really what was happening either.
Yeah, that's hard. So like, man, I get so excited about that stuff though. Like, that's some of my favorite stuff. I have this one brand that I have like on the shelf.
You don't gotta let them know about that one yet.
I'm like, oh yeah.
I'd be stoked for that one too. I think, you know, there's a right time to do those things, because you can't do everything at once. Like, you know, it's just not. It's not even a good plan. And if you think it's a good plan, you're going to find out really quickly it's not a good plan. But still, that's oftentimes what people try to do. It's really difficult to focus. It's really difficult to like set your priorities in a way that makes sense. So I've kind of accumulated some brand clutter over the last couple of years.
I think we both have a bit of that. And my hope has been that by doing visual page where I do photography, videography, like short film, whatever stuff, and then having Smilebro as like the alt pop vocals over instrumentals and guitar stuff, and then Neon Reject as the more electronic thing, that by practicing all of those at the same time, they get better at the same time.
Yeah.
But I do have to do it in sprints. Like, I'll do Smilebro for like 3 months, and then I'll do like show photography for like a couple months. I'm just like, because I'll get burnt out on some things and I get to switch to the next thing.
I think that's probably okay, because if one of them hits, you're not afraid to like ride that wave for a while either.
Sure.
You know, you're not afraid to reprioritize and invest. I feel like I've been doing less of the like alternating sprints and really trying to keep, I mean, one of mine being Triple Falls was a really big one that was kind of like tough to do in sprints in a way.
Sure.
But my DJ stuff's been put on the back burner. So, you know, with this AM PM format, I'm hoping to kind of get back into it. You know, I was also locked into a residency for a long time too. Obviously that was years ago now at this point, but I still feel like energetically weird about it.
Yeah. I'm excited for that, like very much so.
Cool.
There's this idea that like other people know how valuable you are more than you do in some ways. Like, my perception of you is like, I almost prefer your AM sets, and I think your house has the entire vibe for the AM sets, and I think it's so easy and so makes sense for you to do that.
Kind of low-hanging fruit there.
Yeah, so it's like, it feels like your easiest potential is like coming to life in some way.
Cool.
From my perspective.
Yeah, you can like imagine some version of success pretty easily.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you hear your buddy's idea and you're like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've had some of those. Dude, I keep remembering that Hit Up Willie Joy has the podcast back to back, and I sent him Xenon Blazin', like the first single that Neon Reject had, and I like think I sent him like a paragraph of like how his podcast inspired me, which was cool. But the weird part was that I was like talking to him about how I wanted to make a video game out of Neon Reject and stuff. And And I was like, looking back, and I was like,
you
that
let
was
him
very
in on the
premature.
whole vision really early.
Yeah. A stranger, dude. Like, the crazy.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
still so much respect for him in that podcast, and it's so inspiring. And
Yeah.
for like, my goal was to listen to every single podcast. He has so many because I was doing DoorDash and Shipped. So I would just listen to it while I was like shopping and stuff, and then I stopped doing those. And then I kind of fell off a little bit, but yeah. Big shouts out to Willie Joy.
There's some awesome podcasts out there. I was thinking recently about podcast is good when you know when it's coming out next and and why you want to listen to it. And there are formats, like maybe even that one especially, like you're just going to get a surprise episode from a sick DJ that he ran into. Yeah. So maybe it's less like that, but yeah.
My all-time favorite podcast right now is Diary of a CEO.
Okay.
I love it so much.
I feel like I've heard that one, but it's not one of my like regular listens.
His questions are like so good, and he's like talking to like entertainers and like billionaires and people from all over. It's so good.
Well, hopefully our podcast could one day be epic like one of those.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we got to do? You want to touch on any of that progress you've made with any of the albums, like either upcoming Neon Reject stuff or, where we're at in our larger process with the Smilebro stuff?
Sure. The Neon Reject thing, mostly inspired by us having a show. Yeah. I threw together some songs that felt like they helped tell the eclectic love story that Smilebro had. So there's an eclectic love short film that I put out as Smilebro that has Neon Reject throughout it. And I don't think I've ever explained this publicly, but the whole story is that Smilebro finds out that Jared is trying to fall in love with this girl, and then he runs to Neon Reject to try to get help to stop him. And then they go and they abduct Jared and this girl, and then they turn the girl into a chicken nugget. And the only way to turn her back is for Jared to like take his heart out and put it in the thing to turn her back. So he does that, and then he gets shot out the vacuum of the spaceship and then falls into the ocean. And then the last scene is him taken out on this boat, and Neon Reject crashes the spaceship and gives the heart back to Jared. So this EP that I'm working on for Neon Reject is called Trek, and it gives all the context, or some of the context of the gaps that Eclectic Love left out. So it'll be like the internal battle of Neon Reject, like helping Smilebro, and like whether either of them actually wanted to go through with like the action.
Right.
And also there's this one song I want to put in there that shows that the girl actually wasn't in love with Jared at all. And that he still gave his heart to her even though she wasn't into him. And it was so yeah, I'm excited about like adding a lot of depth to that story that that felt very narrow focused, but really cool. I'm so glad that I did it, and it was a really cool exercise. I'm really trying to use those as like world building practice and filmmaking, and it's just really exciting, and having all of my music projects be in a cohesive world that like references each other. Like some of my Smilebro songs from one album or like a single will like reference another song, and they're like tied together in ways that you'd really have to focus to understand. So yeah, that's been exciting. Sorry, I kind of derailed on.
No, that's awesome. I think it, for anyone who's made it this far in this episode, that might be a good way to end it. Honestly, you got the inside scoop on the upcoming project. We've at this point checked off most of our elements except for existential dread, which was something we put on there. But I think we covered that a little bit in some of our earlier conversations. So we don't need to even let the audience know that was on our list.
Except for you just that's fine. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Cheers.
Yeah. So maybe see you on Thursday.
Thursday.
Is it this one? Yeah.
There it is.
The outro. We should maybe play this.
Probably.
Sick.
Nice.
Oh, that felt good.
Yeah. I think that was good.